Hello. How are you? Happy 2023. Happy New Year's. Thank you for joining me. What an exciting year it will be. The truth about living in Germany. Ooh. Catchy title. It worked on me. I want to know. What's the truth?
So when I landed in Germany, I remember the first thing that was kind of a shock was hopping on a train. I had never been on a train. Now it seems really normal, but I hopped on a train, went through the beautiful countrysides of Germany down.
I did see the first comment that said, when you said, first thing that shocked me was hopping on a train, we all expected a joke, didn't we? Oof. All right. I mean, that would be strange. I've never been on a train. Now that I think about it. Subway, yes.
To a little city called Marana. And I remember being kind of shocked at how small it was and that we had a car. And then there were little tiny things that were shocking to me. I mean, just for the fun of saying what they were, there was like a light switch. They're not like switches, they're kind of like pads. So you hit a whole entire pad, or the pillows.
What? What? German light pad. Huh? Light what? What does this mean? What is that? Does it so it rocks? Well, that's nifty. I like that. Probably easier to find in the dark. You just slap the wall. You'll probably hit it. It's this big.
They're not rectangle, they're squares, and they're a whole entire pad. Or the pillows, they're not rectangle, they're squares, and
No, they're not. This guy's lying.
they're windows. They don't open up and down or side to side. They tip in and out, and they open kind of like a door.
Are the pillows actually square?
So there was a lot of little differences like that. They have, I mean, our apartment had our washer and dryer in the kitchen, and then I thought that was just our apartment, and then I realized a lot of apartments are like that. So those were little tiny things.
That is strange. It almost becomes like the kitchen is more like the cleaning area. It's where dishes and laundry is all cleaned rather than just food. Like in America, the kitchen to me is a place where food is prepared. But it sounds like in Germany, the kitchen is where things are cleaned. But you guys are probably like, that's dumb.
Things, but nothing big. My favorite food in Germany is just schnitzel and rotkohl. Rotkohl is just red cabbage, and they would have Klöße. So that's basically it looks like a potato, but it's not. It's just a dumpling. I guess that's what it is in English. And and that was my favorite. Was when we just had schnitzel, rotkohl, and Klöße. I also really liked Rouladen.
Sounds good.
Which was just meat rolled up in, and they'd marinate it, and it just tasted really good.
Rolled up in what? Wait, the meat itself is just rolled up? Well, yeah, that's good. Anything just meat is gonna be great.
I like their meat. Simply said.
I like your meat.
I really learned to like red cabbage, which I disliked. I also liked sauerkraut. Didn't like that either. So, but
I've never had sauerkraut.
by the end, I pretty much liked anything they put in front of me. The weather in Germany is similar to here in Utah. I mean, the hots are a little bit hotter and the colds are a little bit colder due to the humidity. I really like their traditions that revolve around music and the traditions
I didn't know it got like particularly hot in Germany. That's interesting.
that revolve around Christmas. They start Christmas at the very beginning of December, and they have the Advent site, which is the time of the Advent, and they have these Advent calendars, and they have Advent wreaths, and they celebrate each Sunday prior to the Christmas morning. And that's a tradition that I would want to hold up for the rest of my life with my family. And another tradition that I found interesting was they open their gifts on Christmas Eve, which is interesting to me. I always thought you do it Christmas morning, but Germans are.
So you guys are telling me it's a huge deal if you wish someone happy birthday the day before the birthday. But the day before Christmas, you guys all just celebrate Christmas. Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, let's do everything.
They're a little bit different that way. Let's see. Another cultural thing about Germany is the public transportation. So you don't see as many cars in cities, and the roads aren't very wide because they all take public transportation. It was interesting because I spent majority on the east side, which was under communist rule, where the DDR was these last not too long ago. And so we met a lot of people who were communists. I never thought that I would become friends with a bunch of communists. It just never crossed my mind as an American, but it ended up being wonderful. I had a lot of friends that had a lot of different political views that I had never really viewed before. I learned to respect.
That's actually fascinating. I didn't know that was still like prolific on the East Germany. Oh, okay.
Respect other people's opinions a lot more, to not be so hasty to judging. And I realized that the ideals of communism can be appealing. I mean, maybe I shouldn't categorize them all as communists. A lot of them were just socialist and had more of those communistic ideals. But
here in America, communism is like a dirty word to most people. So I wonder what the people he's talking about, is it like that in Germany at all? At least on the east side? No? Interesting. Like, would you guys prefer to be called socialist or not? Because here in America, people with those type of ideals typically label themselves socialist. And even that is, a lot of people get afraid.
Still an eye-opener to me when I started making friends with people with other political perspectives. If you're wanting to learn German, the key to speaking any language, I think, is just speaking it constantly. And
Kraus.
You can do it. I didn't think I was going to be able to learn a language, but I got a lot of support from my siblings who would write me letters saying, oh, you can try something more like this, try something like that. For example, my sister, she plays the piano, so she kept telling me to continue to study and memorize the charts of the German language, which tell you der, die, and das, so the masculine, feminine, and neuter cases, and when it's going to be nominative, dative, genitive, things like that. And you memorize these endings, and she compared those to a scale, like when you're learning the piano. And so she said, just keep memorizing those, and that proved to be really beneficial.
I might have to look into that.
Also, in learning German, the first thing I learned is was bedeutet. So what does this word mean? So you'd
Was bedeutet.
say was bedeutet Haus, and then they'd say in English house, So that makes it so you can continue a conversation just by asking somebody, what does that word mean? And then they can answer that. And then the second sentence I learned was wie sagt man. Wie sagt man means how do you say tree? So wie sagt man tree, and then they'd say
Wie sagt man
Baum. So
I think I would need to know, where is the bathroom?
Those two sentences were the first things I learned in German. And then from there, if you're stranded on the street and you have to speak, you can always struggle to put a sentence together. But really, in the end, learning the language wasn't the issue. After about 4 months, it was no longer an issue. I just woke up, studied the language, and it just came pretty naturally.
Well, that was a very... Whoa. Who are you? Actually, I know who that is. I watched her the other day. Anyway, that was a pretty chill video. I enjoyed that. I didn't know about the Christmas thing. First of all, opening gifts the day before. What the heck? That goes against everything in my bones that I thought I knew about Germany. Someone's going to have to explain that to me. But also, you celebrate every Sunday leading up to Christmas. That is, I'm all for that. The more days you add to the fun, how can anybody be against it? It's just more celebration, more fun. I'll take it. That sounds cool. Thank you for watching. And thank you to that. Well, you know what? I have to go back. I have to say at least that, go check out this guy's channel. That was a very interesting video.
So
there's something about it that really felt like I was at home, but also like he was holding me captive. Lifey. Go check out Lifey. Link in the description. Thank you for watching. and have a fantastic day. I hope to see you here again tomorrow. Subscribe if you want to. Goodbye.